Souls. For the longest time in Jujutsu Kaisen, I have been a slut for the theory of souls, and I've said it plenty of times, and I will continue to say so. Souls within the series of Jujutsu Kaisen is so interesting. However, this latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen 230 actually gave us a lot of information that went under the radar, so I wanted to talk about this and about Gojo's potential soul power, and also just make sure to subscribe, because studies show that when you subscribe to this channel, you get an actual massive PP energy buff. Can't argue with science. But let's talk about Gojo and a theory that I've had now for the longest time, and ever since Shibuya, way back when, I've theorized that Gojo was able to see, interact with, and now even able to attack souls within the series, and I believe this is a result of his 6 eyes. Evidence. You'll want some of that. Exhibit A. During the Shibuya Arc event, Kenjaku and Gojo finally come face to face, with the revelation being that Kenjaku was actually inhabiting Gojo's former lover. Was actually inhabiting Gojo's former friend, Suguru Geto. During this exchange, Gojo and Kenjaku talk, with Gojo demanding to know just who Kenjaku is, with him stating the following: "My 6 eyes tell me you're Suguru Geto, but my soul knows otherwise." As Gojo says this, we are shown a panel of Gojo seeing a glowing aura in the same panel as him saying his 6 eyes tell him that you're Suguru Geto. Shortly after this, Gojo directly speaks to Geto's soul, telling him it's about time to wake up, and this prompts Geto's soul to awaken and forcibly grab Kenjaku's neck to try and choke him out. Shortly after this, Kenjaku goes on to tell Mahito that the soul is the body and the body is the soul, and we get more evidence that actually supports this statement a little bit later on down the line, when Toji is actually brought back and forcibly takes over the host's body, later stating that this guy's soul lost to my body. And if what Kenjaku said is true, then that was basically one soul taking over another. Exhibit B. This one comes from chapters 221 and 222, so I will say take this one with a grain of salt. This one is definitely open to interpretation here. But in chapter 221, we see Gojo striking Urumi with a punch so powerful it makes this motherfucker contemplate where everything went wrong in their life. And then fast forward to the next chapter, we see Urumi still clutching at the same spot that Gojo punched, even saying how even with reverse case technique, this wound still hurts. Now, like I said, take that one with a grain of salt, because you could easily interpret this as if Urumi's was pride here and not actually their physical body or their soul was punched. Exhibit C. Exhibit C comes from the latest set of chapters with Jujutsu Kaisen 230, where we learn Gojo's domain expansion targets everything within the domain, meaning it could very well attack souls. And we know Gojo's domain is an information dump, and we also have evidence from Granny Ogami when she summoned Toji that souls have information with them, as she states she never summons the soul's information to avoid this exact worst case scenario. If the soul has information within it, then that would mean that it could actually be overloaded with even more information, which is seemingly what happens within chapter 230, when it's stated that the one taking the damage to use the adaptation was Megami's soul, meaning Megami's soul was being overwhelmed with information from Unlimited Void. The logistics of how all that happens, I'm not entirely sure of. That's what I'm piecing together for this theory for this one. Exhibit D. Also coming from the same chapter here was a panel of Gojo using his 6 eyes to figure out just how Mahoraga and Sukuna were able to get out of the domain expansion of Unlimited Void, and we see Gojo looking directly at Sukuna and seeing 2 white orbs, and I believe these are the souls residing within the body, the larger of the 2 being Sukuna's dominant soul and the smaller of the 2 being Megami's suppressed soul. And to further back this point with a similar panel that was drawn in Shibuya when Gojo looked at Kenjaku, we see a large white orb. However, as for where Geto's soul is in that moment, I actually have no idea. Maybe it's something different with how Kenjaku's brain interacts with the body. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll let you guys theorize about that one in the comments down below. Finally, we have Exhibit E. Yuki Tsukumo was a sorcerer who spent a good portion of her life researching the soul, and was even a former star plasma vessel, actually supposed to merge with Tengen. And then in a chapter a while ago, it was actually confirmed that Yuki could in fact actually hear the voices of the merged souls from the previous star plasma vessels inside of Tengen. Later on in this series, Choso hands Yuji a book that Yuki had written all of her findings about the soul written within this. Now, right right now, the gang needs a plan to rescue Megumi's soul, and as of the current point of the story, we actually don't know what that plan is. However, my theory is that Gojo's ability to see, interact, and even attack souls in conjunction with all of the information that was in that book that Yuki gave to Yuji will be the key to freeing Megumi's soul from Sukuna's grip. And that is my theory on Gojo's soul powers, or interacting with the soul within the series of Jujutsu Kaisen. I know it's a bit crackpotty here, but this series, and if you've been around on this channel, this topic of souls within Jujutsu Kaisen genuinely fascinates me. But if you like this little quick, slightly informative video and more crackpotty video, be sure to subscribe, as that always helps me out. And again, you always get a massive PB energy buff from that. But as always, that is everything from me. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Much love, big kisses, peace.